Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're James with Games. Happy Saturday, folks. I'm not quite set up here, but I'm close. Just gotta get the, there we go. Now the game, or at least the stream monitor, which will soon include the game, is on the screen in front of me. Here we are. It's a big day. This is probably the end of the King's Quest saga. It depends, because I was stuck when I wrapped up last time. So this could be several hours of me getting increasingly frantic. But perhaps more likely is a fairly breezy trip to the end of the game. We shall see. Last week, I had lofty thoughts last week of actually finishing Mask of Eternity last week and starting Dark Sun Shattered Lands right now, which unfortunately I'm not doing. And then when I stopped so close to the end, I said, well, maybe next time I can beat King's Quest Mask of Eternity quickly, and then we can dip into Dark Sun Shattered Lands. But then, well, we're heading into 2 choppy weekends where having good streaming time on Saturday is looking questionable. And because of that, I don't want to do like 2 hours of Dark Sun Shattered Lands and then not come back to it for 3 weeks. Happy Saturday, Jacket! Welcome! So this might just be a short stream if I beat this game quickly. And we'll start Dark Sun Shattered Lands as soon as we can, because I'm so excited. Yeah, 2 busy weekends coming up, and then we're easing in to the best time of the year. I'm going to take it pretty easy in June and step up the streaming schedule a little, get a little bit more going on here. And then we will, the final step, what's the other thing I'm saying? And then my vacation comes. I can't wait. I feel like I've really earned it. Okay, here we go. Turn this down a whole lot in my own ears before it gets sweeping. And then make sure, yep, set the levels right. Okay, we're good to go. Pattern Blue, welcome. Happy Saturday indeed. Lo, for we are in the realm of the sun. Sadly, Cedric won't be here with us today. He's traveling. I mean, it's not that sad, because I'm sure he's having a good time. Or at least I hope he is. Okay, so check it out. We're in the Realm of the Sun. I've actually made it all the way to the 4th level of the Realm of the Sun, and I got the sacred objects along the way, like the fancy sun armor that we can see young Connor wearing. The Realm of the Sun, by the way, is a windowless interior space. My hope is that maybe at the very top, we probably won't see the sun in the game. Maybe we will. In the game engine, I mean. But it'd be nice to at least get a little, what am I looking for here? Like a cutscene that shows the sun. Kind of sells us on this glorious realm of the sun. So here's the story. When you get to the 4th level, there's an Archon there, and he's like, you can't go and fight the boss until you have found the final piece of the Mask of Eternity, which is somewhere down below. So then you come down below on the 3 levels, and I was not able to find it. But here are the points of interest. On level 1, in this room, right here, all the Archons are there. And they're all like, oh, and they're just like muttering things. And there's some clues in there. And I thought maybe I can restore them somehow. But I couldn't find a way. I don't know. Up here, I feel like level 2 is, like, I'm going to start my searching on level 2 today because, first of all, there's a door I haven't been able to open. And it's a weird door because otherwise, there was a pattern with this one door accepted where all 3 of the main levels of the Realm of the Sun had one door locked by a key, and the key was part of the like structured little mini quest of the floor. You get the key, you can open the door. And they had one door, like the one that I'm pointing at here, that has no keyhole. And those doors, and there was one, I'm pretty sure it was right here. It might have been over here. It was somewhere, or maybe, actually it was down here, I think. At any rate, there was one of those doors on this floor. This is also a keyless door, or a keyhole-less door, but there's no Archon next to it. Okay. And then here, we have the cauldron that is generating all the monsters. So, probably there's going to be at least something to do. Like, we're going to go through this door. This feels like the most likely Mask of Eternity hiding spot. But we're probably going to wind up doing something with this too. I'm not sure about the Archons. On level 3, there's not really anything that we haven't been able to access and investigate. Don't be fooled by the terminus here, because that's actually just where the stairs go up. And then here on the 4th level, there's just like nothing. The altar room. So, last time, when I got to this point, I was doing an absurdly long session, and I was determined to beat the game, but I was just like, at that point, I was just like, come on. And so I wound up, all I did was I made note of these 3 points of interest, and then I ran around to them all, just using every item on everything that Connor would speak about when I clicked on it. Didn't really accomplish much. Instead of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, I'm going to be structured here. First, oops, I'm going to return. Oops, sorry, Connor. I'm navigating, not looking at Connor, but looking at the arrow on the map. I'm going to go back down here, and I'm going to walk through this place with my eyes peeled, especially, not only, but especially, in the vicinity of this door. Okay. Because if there's no key, but there's also no Archon here, one thing could be that I'm supposed to do something to help the Archons, then one of those Archons would appear here. But I'm starting on the assumption that this floor with 2 unresolved things is the right spot. There's not going to be an Archon, and there's not going to be a key because there's no keyhole. Then, if indeed I can get through there, it's some mechanism. So, I don't see anything that makes this door look any different than the other doors that would give me a clue. I guess if I see the sun symbol somewhere, I'll click on it. I guess I should click on the candles, right? What if one of the candles is just a switch? I don't know. And we'll go counterclockwise through the place. We'll try everything. Including, like, it feels like probably if clicking on a candle is the answer, that it's going to look different somehow. But in the interest of thoroughness, I'm just going to click on all of the candles and anything else that I see that is a unique graphical element and unique architectural element. A little tedious, but probably a more effective kitchen sink strategy than the tried and true adventure game technique. I'm not looking in those places because I know I searched them. Not only did I get all the stuff out of them last time, back up, Connor. There we go. Not only did I get all the stuff out of them last time, but I also... Oh, hey, healing crystal that I missed. I also tried to go back into them later when I was frantically exploring everything. This seems promising. All right. There, jeez. We could have beaten this game last week if I had just said, calm down and look at everything and click on everything. I didn't even need to be clicking on everything. If I'd been looking at everything, I would have been like, hey, there's a single candle that's extinguished. Okay, Let's throw down a save in case there's some horrible death event in here. But hopefully... Well, Connor definitely has the sense that he's heading into peril. Nope.
The final masterpiece.
Oh, he's learned that every time he retrieves a masterpiece, some dude appears. It's funny that he's being all stealthy all of a sudden.
No opponent.
In every other... Ah, no opponent, you say, Connor. Of course, at this point, Connor is truly the champion eternal now. Alright, we have 7 defensive potions and 13 attack potions. So if there is a final boss, we're well prepared. Okay, final masterpiece. So I guess I can go up to the altar room now. But now I want to just... I want resolution about the cauldron. If indeed I can get resolution. So I'm going to run over that way. What an odd scene that they set up. Like, Connor knows now. He's recognized the pattern that someone appears to fight him every time he finds a masterpiece. He's all ready. He's suddenly taking evasive and defensive and stealth maneuvers. And then he goes, no opponent. And then just like 10 feet away from him, there's 2 opponents. Okay. Well, here's what I really gotta do. If I'm concerned... Ah, right, of course. Alright. Watch that guy head out.
Egad. The vision in the witch's cauldron.
And then, just looking around. Okay. Are the candles all lit? Yeah. Okay. I think I did all my items on here. I'm just gonna... Can the Chalice of Life...
This will not work.
No. Can the Precepts somehow...
This will not work.
No. Okay. I still don't have a solution. I mean, maybe we come back? Kind of feels like just going up would be the end of the game. Let's find it. Up to level 3. And then from level 3, the way up is to go south. Hi, Astra. What's up, sweetheart? Astra has started joining me and Abra on Abra's walks out to the shared patio space. But for whatever reason right now, she doesn't want to actually go out. So she, wow. Look at it. The Mask of Eternity. Oh, right. But clicking on the Mask of Eternity is the menu button. So she just comes out to the door of the shared patio space and then watches us while we go out and poke around.
Lo, champion eternal, the
It's
door
pretty
to the
endearing.
inner sanctum of the mask.
Connor's ready for anything.
Finally we meet, mortal. I must commend thee. Thou hast proven more stalwart than I thought. 'Twill be a shame to see one such as thee die.
I have no intention of dying, Lucreto.
Oh, sweet. Why is Connor at half health? Well, at any rate, we're ready. Where is this jerk? What's going on? Well, I wasted one potion, which hardly matters. In fact, is this not a battle at all? Is it just time to put the mask in place? Okay. Now we're fighting. Haha. 1162. That's quite a number. Okay, we have enough potions to deal with this guy bursting back out and fighting us every time. I've never used a level 4 healing item, so I guess I'll do that now. Pitiful, man. This is another one of those moments where just a slightly better combat system would... Oh ho! I shall not. Like, this could be a lot more exciting if it was, if the fight had anything to it. The general idea of Connor having to repeatedly beat this Lucreto back in order to put another mask piece on. Oh. Then they were like, oh, we don't want to go through this whole thing 5 times. And now the whole thing's there.
The mask. It will not shield thee, puny cur.
Why do I need it to shield
so
me?
you think?
Thou wilt not get away with this!
And then we just beat him back. Another thing you could do something with a better battle system. A fight that's not about beating him, but about just driving him back to the portal. We had another fight like that, the American Gladiators fight with the skeleton that can only be defeated if you knock it off. Oh, I thought the game crashed. Let's go into a cutscene, which I cannot personally see. None of us can see. Wait. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. All of the other videos worked. And then the ending doesn't. So perhaps I will go look for it on YouTube in a minute. That was all I had to do last week. The amount of time I spent running around using the items on random points of interest. If I had just not done that and done the thing that always makes more sense, which is to think about it and then behave systematically. What on earth? Okay. Remember, no bad thoughts for Jennifer Keenan. Well, it ended in the sense that the hello, David. The final video didn't load, so I could hear it. It was not very long, and now the credits are rolling. But none of these things are Jennifer Keenan's fault. She could not assure the quality of the experience of hacking this game to make it run in windowed mode on a thing that, what am I trying to say? I don't even know. On an operating system many generations removed from the one it was designed for. So it goes. Okay. It was wild, folks. Something like it was like almost 30 steps in the process to get this game to work. And admit it, like, not getting it to work was a little bit easier than getting it to work in a window so that I could have like a proper setup for the streaming. But yeah, it was wild. It's like I'm doing basically the same. I'm using the same little applet to run Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire in windowed mode, and the process there was download the applet, tell it that you wanted to open this thing, and then launch. I don't want to cosign sketch. Oh, this is great. Okay, that's a nice touch. Shopping Connor into Team Mask of Eternity. Oh, it's keeping score. I got 6,175,681 out of, but it's over. It's gone. There was more possible points. Okay. Well, quit the game. Let me see. Can I find King's Quest Mask of Eternity ending video? Yeah, it was close when you consider that the scale of the game, of the points in the game, goes to the millions. It's not so bad. Not so bad. And presumably there was something I could do about that cauldron. I bet that was a lot of the points that I missed. Okay. King's Quest Mask of Eternity ending. 93. That's not bad. It's an A+. That is an A+. Okay. I found the 49-second ending video. So, I just need to get a window capture going on here. Excellent. And here we go. After this ad. All right. Connor kneels. And people return to flesh. We see Graham's face briefly. We see the lovely Sarah. I guess also the flowers were not blossoming while everyone was turned to stone. That didn't really come up. A shot of the sky, just like I'd hoped. Connor raises the sword to the air. And then the mask displays. Well. Daventry has a booming mall Santa industry. All right. Well. Fortunately, I think I've definitely left myself time that we can fire up Dark Sun today. But first, some final thoughts on King's Quest VIII Mask of Eternity. A much, much better game than its reputation would suggest. And in fact, overall, a pretty good game that I enjoyed. Would I ever play it again in my life? Probably not. If they had made King's Quest 9, 2 Mask, 2 Eternity, I would play it. Absolutely. I think it's a shame, more than anything, that Roberta Williams... Hello, Fire Krillin. I have my integrity, but I'm not made of stone. For $100 million, I would play King's Quest 8 again. I would fire it up right now. Immediately. But, yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It had some good ideas. Like, there was an obvious tension between corporate pressure and actually the clashing preferences of Roberta Williams and I think Mark Siebert, her co-designer, about, among other things, whether you could still even have point-and-click adventure games and whether King's Quest should just be Diablo now because Diablo is popular. And a big result there was that action RPG elements are integrated into the game, but they're vastly simplified and not necessarily all that great and exciting. Which is a shame because... Yep. Thank you, David. It's a shame because the enemies were well designed and they were different. They had interesting behaviors within the limited scope of what the game's engine can allow. There are different tactics for different enemies. You know, like the Reaper type guys that can't move, that shoot projectiles. You got to get up in their face quick so you can get the hits in and destroy them before they hurt you. The little legs guys in the swamp, probably the best enemy in the game, because you hit them and then they run in this wild arc and you know they're going to come back, and if you can line up your shot, you can pick them off. It's satisfying. They could have gone, if they gone a little further with the action RPG stuff, I think it would fit better and probably be more fun. Even if just there was a parry button, that would make a big difference in terms of just having it be something. Because when you're ripping off Diablo, Diablo's combat is just clicking, especially if you're the warrior. All you do is just go around, click, 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 click. But the thing is, there's a lot of other stuff going on in Diablo's action RPG engine. First of all, you're fighting a ton of enemies. Healing is not nearly as plentiful and effortless. PJ, you missed the end because it turned out that when I gave up last time, just short of the end, literally what I had to do was walk around the halls until I noticed one candle wasn't lit, click on it, walk through the door, get the Mask of Eternity, fight 2 goons, go up the stairs, fight the final boss. It's 20 minutes. And it was not a great ending. As soon as you beat the boss fight was okay, held back by the same limitations as all the rest of the action RPG stuff. If the fighting was more dynamic and fun, it would be a cooler fight because it's Connor has to go up and place the Mask of Eternity pieces one at a time on this pedestal, and every time he puts them down, Lucreto remanifests, and you got to fight him again, and that's okay. And then when he puts the whole mask together, it opens up a portal behind Lucreto, and then the final part of the battle is not killing him with your sword, but driving him back into the portal. That's kind of neat. But when the gameplay is just a bunch of clicking without anything behind it to support it, whereas like I was just saying, Diablo has, you're worrying about, can I go further? Is it time to go back? Am I stringing up my healing enough? Am I going to be able to beat the butcher if I get down to the butcher's floor? And a lot more going on in terms of equipment drops and pickups and finding stuff. When you strip that down to just the clicking, it's not great, So I think developing those elements more, or as Roberta Williams later said, if she could do it again, she would just take them right out. I could see a case for that. Oh, the Butcher is just scary. The Butcher is legitimately scary in that. For the first Diablo has a sense of menace to it, partially because it's following the rogue model of being a deep dungeon that you're probably going to get killed in. And then, the Butcher shows fresh meat. And like nobody wants to think about being chopped up and eaten. Yeah, the Butcher's a good enemy. Scary enemy. Yeah, if you took the action RPG elements out of King's Quest VIII Mask of Eternity, I think you would run up against the problem of the puzzles. There's some good puzzles in the game, but I don't know if there was like a full adventure game's worth of good puzzles. But I guess Roberta Williams is probably thinking not, I would cut this part out and change nothing else, so much as I would cut that out and put more emphasis on puzzle solving and adventuring. I would have loved to see what Roberta Williams did next with adventure games in a 3D space. I'm aware that she's, her and Ken Williams put out a 3D optimized for VR Colossal Cave adventure remake. And I might check that out someday. But that's not quite the same thing to me as Roberta Williams making a new game. What are you going to do? So that's one thing about King's Quest VIII Mask of Eternity. Is it a good game in its own right? Yes, it's flawed, but it's got a lot of nice things going for it. Connor somehow turns out to, like, the complete absence of a personality, like, becomes a personality. And you wind up thinking of him as this just, like, lovable lunk who just, he's tall and he's handsome and he's strong and he doesn't have a thought in his mind. So that winds up working. It's the total opposite. When we were playing King's Quest VI, I was talking about how like Alexander is just like a white meat baby face, like completely boring, just like good guy. But he's not that boring, and he's not generic because his dialogue, like, it captures things about him that it's not just that he's a good guy. He's like a notably sensitive guy, and he's that sensitive guy because of the trauma of his own life, being raised in slavery by an evil magician who was going to murder him, an evil wizard. Connor is just a brick wall with brick forehead and everything. But that winds up, it turned a corner fairly early on that I was just like, okay, I'm into this boring dude. But like, if he's supposed to be taking over the franchise and we're really envisioning this going forward, like, it's weird that we see King Graham in the intro and the ending, and we can briefly like see him in stone form in the gameplay. And yet I bet he doesn't, because he's too good-hearted of a guy. He can't hold it against all cat kind. He might not want a cat in his own home, or maybe if he does, it just can't be a black cat. But yeah, it's weird that Connor never interacts with King Graham. He's supposed to be taking over the series. There's no passing of the torch, even in the ending. And likewise, we get no Connor's last moment is just raising the sword to the air with the Archons. British, welcome. It turned out there was so little of Mask of Eternity left that it's over now. You didn't miss much. But yeah, the last shot of Connor is him raising his sword to the sky with the Archons, as opposed to like reuniting with Sarah. They didn't really lay a lot of groundwork to make us feel like he was a new protagonist to carry the series forward. Although perhaps, Roberta Williams probably just had her eye on the exit the whole time. So yeah, pretty good, if flawed game. Certainly like a worthwhile experience. I don't regret playing it. Not a great... Yeah, your mom, it was like, just like that. If I had just calmed down last week when I was running around clicking, trying to use every item on every point of interest, if I had just taken a deep breath and said like, that's not going to work, go around and look for something out of place, I would beat the game last weekend. Because once I started systematically searching, it took about 3 minutes before I discovered, oh, hey, there's one candle that isn't lit. And you click on it, and it's just switch for the door. And then the Mask of Eternity piece is in there, and then you go and you fight the final boss, and the final boss is easy. just like every fight in the game. Yeah. Like, a better game than it is an 8th entry in the King's Quest series, it must be said again and again. Fortunately, I had many, many years, decades to prepare myself. I'm not caught off guard. I've had time to process it. I'm not a contemporary King's Quest fan waiting for the 8th entry and being told this is King's Quest. So I don't have that same backlash against it. But that's not to say that it really feels like the 8th game of the King's Quest series. You could cut King Graham out easily and then just have him, he's got Connor of Avonlea. Boom. We've started a new game, Connor's Quest. Whole new series. But, hey, what are you going to do? With difficult circumstances, they managed to crank out a flawed but pleasant experience. Thank you, Connor, for your adventure. Thank you, Roberta Williams, for this whole series. In the future, we'll check out other things Roberta Williams did. Probably sometime in the near to medium future, next few months, I'll check out Phantasmagoria, which she considers her crowning achievement as a game developer. And then someday I got to check out those Laura Bow games. And then, someday I might have the historical interest to go back. Probably never do Time Machine or whatever that one was called, Time Quest. But it might be interesting to just check out Wizard and the Princess or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, King's Quest, quite a series. If I had to rank all 8 of them, it would feel weird because it feels like I don't really know how to hold King's Quest 8 up against the rest of them. I think I probably admired it a bit more than maybe I don't know. I think it is it's a better first step into 3D than King's Quest 5 was a first step into pointing and clicking. I can give it that. I don't know if I liked it more than King's Quest 5. King's Quest 5 isn't as long. King's Quest 5 was shorter, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'd put it on the list. I think in the end, my favorites are, and I'd probably say a different one on a different day, but 3 and 6 are my favorites. I think probably 1 and 5 are probably at the bottom of the totem pole for me, although I have a lot of sentimental affection for 5, and 1's good. It's just it's immediately followed by King's Quest 2, which is basically just more King's Quest but more polished. And then it's followed by King's Quest 3 and 4, which are both, I think, better executions of the text parser adventure game style. Yeah. Anyway, great series. Glad that I've finally played it. Glad that I'm finally done. Not because I'm necessarily sick of it, but I did start last August playing the King's Quest games on Saturday. And I've had a couple little brief detours. Chance of Sinar and finishing up Lolo 3, but it's nice to put it to bed. I have heard good things about the Curandia games. So, we're definitely going to do more point-and-click adventures. Going to do Space Quest at some point. Do all kinds of stuff. In the fullness of time. Right now, I think we have time to dip our toes into Dark Sun, Shattered Lands. So what I'm going to do here is... I got to do I haven't touched any of the LucasArts ones. If I go to LucasArts, I probably will start with Maniac Mansion. But I can see myself doing Monkey Island. Space Quest. I'll definitely, if nothing else, a few years from now, I will have played all the obvious ones. The Gabriel Knights. Yeah. But it's time for a party-based RPG. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up the thanks for watching screen. And I'm going to do the outro. But don't go away unless you're interested in King's Quest and not interested in Dark Sun. Then you should go do something else and enjoy your Saturday. I'll go to the thanks for watching screen, wait a few seconds, and then flip over to the starting soon screen of the Dark Sun, but I won't do a whole countdown. And then I'll start that stream. And we'll dive in to Dark Sun, Shattered Lands. Okay. So, check it out. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to check out Dark Sun, Shattered Lands. Tomorrow is looking dicey scheduling-wise, but if I can fit it in somewhere in probably the late afternoon or the early morning, I definitely want to do some more Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire, because we're rolling now. We're going to Hades for our next Rite of Rulership, so that's exciting. On Tuesday, Greg will be here. Greg and James beat him up. We got to finish up with Karate Blazers. We're going to check out a game called Ninja Clowns. And then we're probably also going to play Puli Rula, I think, which is a quirky, kind of storybook looking, kind of fairy tale. It's a beat 'em up, but it's about like magic kids who live in a forest or something like that. It's quirky. That's what's on the agenda for Tuesday. We are doing Friday Night Frosthaven on Thursday this week. So that'll be Thursday evening. We're partway through the Caravan Guard scenario, and we're hoping to finish off the last 5 rounds of that. And then, before you know it, it'll be Saturday again. And I'm not quite sure what's happening next Saturday because it's Danielle's birthday weekend. And at the end of the day, if she says, I would rather you didn't, I would rather I hedge you for the whole day. Come on. But I'm optimistic that we can be doing this. So that's where we've been, and that's where we're going. Hey, if you stuck around to the end, well, it's only been like 45 minutes. But thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice. But I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when we're setting off on a new quest together. The Champions Eternal. Take care of yourselves. And be kind to everyone you meet.